Hi guys, today we're going to be making this super cute and fun non-traditional Halloween design. So it's got super cute little sweets and treats, super fun for Halloween. So this will be what we're working on today. Hope you guys enjoy it. If you haven't subscribed, make sure to do so. And we've got some Christmas designs coming up very soon. So hope you guys enjoy it. Let's get started. Hi guys, Melissa here with TCT Crafts. How is everybody today? Today we are going to make a super cute, fun Halloween design in very non-traditional Halloween colors. So the pink and orange and black has really been in this year for Halloween. I know not everybody gets it, and that's okay. Some people just like the traditional Halloween colors, the orange and purples and blacks, and that's okay too. But we're going to do something a little bit different, and we're going to use a lot of the pink and the mint green and the orange, and we're going to make a super cute, sweet Halloween design. So let's get started. Now I have started with our pink artificial pine wreath base. We do have a few of these in the shop, but a very limited supply. So that's what we're going to be using for our base. And I just kind of smushed it together to give it a little bit more of an elongated shape, more of an oval shape, because it is a round wreath base. And then I started doing the mesh so you guys didn't have to sit here and watch me do this for the whole wreath, but I did leave a section for us to do together. So let's get started. I am just using 10-inch mesh. I have 4 different colors. I'm using some open rolls. You're not going to take the whole roll for this design. We don't have to have a whole lot of coverage like we normally would want to hide all the pine ties unless it was like Christmas time or winter designs. But in this one, this is pink, so we want some of that pink to show through, and it's okay. So we don't have to worry about having super coverage with the mesh. So I'm just going to continue with alternating colors. If you guys have not watched me, I'll usually do this on my chest. So I just hold the mesh up here, curl the ends in, and just walk it together and make like a little butterfly. Now curling those ends in will help with the fraying. You know, it's mesh, it's Deco Mesh, it's gonna fray. It's gonna happen. That's why wreaths don't last forever, right? But curling those ends in will help with the fraying. So, I'm gonna do a few more pieces. Again, I'm just rolling these ends in, walking it together. And I'm just using some different mesh that we had in the shop. I will list the supply list in the comments. I mean, not in the comments, in the description section, so you guys can see that. Rolling the ends and walking it together. And let me show you real quick, if you've not watched our tutorials, if you guys are new, first of all, welcome. But let me show you how I cut my mesh. I do not measure. Some people will measure it out, use a rotary cutter. I don't know if I have one handy. They will measure it out, use a rotary cutter, and cut the mesh like that. And you certainly can. That is how I started. However, now, because typically I use the artificial wreath bases, I don't measure them all the exact same. I usually will just drop the mesh on the floor, hold it up to like my chin, and cut close to my belly button. They're usually about 17 to 18 inches long, give or take, but that is how I cut my mesh. And I will just sit there and cut several pieces, and I have a little laundry basket back here behind me that I will throw them all in just to keep them out of my way. So that is how I cut my mesh, in case you guys have not seen that before. Okay, so let's go back. Let's get a blue. And the kind of the colors I'm using is off of this sign. This blue is not exactly the same color as the sign. The sign has a little bit more of the mint color in it. But we're working with what we have. I do have a mint colored mesh in the shop, but it's more of a green. And this is more of a blue. So, so I'm not using that mint one I have. But by the time we get all the goodies in here, it's going to be just fine. Okay, so we've gone all the way around the outside. I'm going to take just a few pieces and kind of fill in the center, not too many. Because again, we're okay with this pink pine showing, but we do want to add some filler for our embellishments that we're going to be adding, so they have something to kind of grab onto. So I'm just grabbing some pieces that I have left from what I cut and just putting them in the center section. Okay. I don't have any more of the blues, so we're just going to go with the pinks and the blacks in the center, which is fine. I think we're going to have just enough. Actually, this is not the right color black. So I may have to cut one more piece of black. So I'm going to put this piece over here. Yeah, so let me cut one more piece of our black. Let me show you. This is the mint that I have. So it's a little bit more green than what I really wanted. So we're just using, I have just a little bit of that blue left. So we're just tying that in. Okay, so we've got some mesh in the center. We still have lots of pine showing with the pink pine, so that's perfectly fine. Okay. So here's what we have. Now let's start by adding our sign. We do have some of these in the shop. It's the cute trick or treat in the pink. So I think I want my sign to kind of go right up in here. So I'm going to add a bunch of glue to the bottom. Get another glue stick here. Bunch of glue. And again, I use the Gorilla Glue hot glue sticks, and it seems to hold really well. So I'm just going to hold that down there in that mesh for a minute. Let it attach. See if we can set something there for a minute while we move on. Okay, I'm going to let that. Now we have this super cute pink, orange, fuzzy foam pumpkin. We do have these in the shop as well. Again, I'll list the supplies in the description. So we've got our sign up here. I'm going to go diagonal, and I'm going to put our pumpkin about right there. So cute. Okay, so I'm going to add lots of glue to this pumpkin. And then once I get them in there, I'm just going to kind of go around and hit the pumpkin and the mesh with my glue gun. There we go. Perfect. Okay, hold that for just a second while I'm holding that, let me show you what else we're going to be using. Isn't this so cute? We have these in the shop. We have them in 2 different colors. We have them in the pink and this blue mint color. And then we also have them in the traditional Halloween colors. That's the orange and green. And then the cone, I think, the cone is the same. So I think I'm going to put this kind of tucked a little bit behind our pumpkin, but going up the side, because this isn't, we elongated this design, so I want this to kind of go up. So let me cut off the little thing there. Okay. I'm going to add glue to the back. Tuck that right next to this pumpkin. And then I'm going to add a little bit of glue in between the pumpkin and the ice cream, just to hold them together. I'm going to give that a second. You guys need to go grab a drink. Do it now while I'm holding this. It'll take a minute. If I move too soon, it's going to come off. So sometimes you have to be patient, even though I don't like to be patient. Give it just a second. See if maybe I can hold this. Okay. I'm afraid to move it. The glue holding the pumpkin and the ice cream cone together, that's what I don't want to move. Okay, I think we're okay. Why let that dry a little bit more? Let's make our bow. So I want a nice big bow here. We'll add probably something up in this area and then do some tails around the side. So I'm just going to set this aside so you guys can see me make the bow. I am using my Easy Bow Maker because I am not very good with the hand bows. Let me get our colors that we're going to use. So we're going to bring in the black and white. This is a nice Farrisilk. I think we do still have this in the shop. So that's going to tie in really nice with the bottom of that ice cream cone. Then I'm going to bring in this blue mint color. We've got this sort of orangey color. It's not a bright orange, so I think it's going to go really nice with sort of the, it's more of a pastel orange, so it's going to go really nice with our picks. And then just a pink. So those are the colors we're going to use. So I'm going to start with our Farrisilk on the bottom. And I really wanted to do a 4-inch. I like to do a 4-inch ribbon on the bottom when I can, but they didn't have any of this pattern in a 4-inch. So we're just going to go ahead and use the 2.5. So I'm going to give it about a 16-inch tail. We can cut it down a little bit if we need to once we get it on the wreath. Just going to push it down there. We're going to go out to about the 7.5 twist. Go out to the 7.5 again and twist, because we're going to do 2 loops of this on each side. Still same length at the 7.5. Twist. We're going to make sort of like an X with it. push it down. We don't need to twist on that last one because it's just going, we're just having the tail go straight down. Okay, so I've got 2 loops of about 7.5 inches on either side. Okay, tail. Okay, let's go in next with our blue-green. That's what I'm going to call it because I don't know what color to call it. It's sort of a mint, but it's not quite as green as a mint, so it's got the blue. Okay. This time, I'm going to go about the 6.5. We're going to come down about a 1/2 inch. And I'm only going to do 1 loop of this. Okay. Now let's go in with our pastel orange gingham. Now we're going to go about the 6, about 1/2 inch lower again. Okay, and we're just doing 1 loop of this on each side. If you want to do 2, you certainly can. Alright, and lastly, we'll go in with our pink. And it's going to go in about 1/2 inch shorter, so about the 5.5. All right. Now let me get I use a zip tie, so let me get a zip tie. Let's see. Use that one. I'm gonna have to restock some of my long black ones. Okay, so I have a zip tie, and then I also have my pipe cleaner. And let me get, I think we'll be okay with 1. Usually I'll tie 2 pipe cleaners together just to give me the extra length, but let's just go with 1 and see if we're good. So I'm just going to I'm going to lift this up just a little bit out of my mold maker. I'm going to slide my zip tie under that. And I'm going to tie it, but not super tight, because when we pull it out, we want to make sure the zip tie is in the middle. And then we're going to put our pipe cleaner through the back of it. And then we can fluff up our loops how we want them. And we'll do it again once we get it on the wreath too, but before we do our zip tie too tight, we want to make sure it's like we like it. Okay. Done with the bow maker. We'll add some more stuff, but I won't need the bow maker for it, so. Perfect. So this is our bow with our tails that we have. We'll trim it all once we get it on our wreath. So let's pull this back up here. And let's position our big juicy bow. Going to go kind of right in this area. So I'm just going to feed that zip tie through the back and wrap it around that metal frame that's in the back. And I'm just going to clip the excess. This wreath wasn't super full because we didn't use a whole lot of mesh. So I was able to just use the one pipe cleaner and make it just fine through there. Okay, so now let's fix our tails how we want them. Trying to decide if I think I want that tail up. I don't know, let me see. I think I'm gonna leave it down. Okay, so I'm just gonna dovetail our ends. So to dovetail, we're just gonna fold the ribbon, fold it together, and then cut it. And you get a nice little V. And I'm going to make these sort of various lengths. I don't usually have them all the same. Sort of like when you get layers in your hair. Just adds some texture just to have them all kind of different. If you want them the same, there is no right or wrong way to make a wreath. You do what you like. Just giving them dovetails. Again, I'm not measuring where I'm cutting. I'm just kind of eyeballing how I like it. Okay, so we have our fun little bow right there. Let's add maybe like a little half bow up top. So I'm going to take a little bit of this, and I'm going to do a short tail and a long tail. So we'll start with our, let's see if I want to kind of cascade it down. And I think we'll just add tails. So I'm going to make it a little bit long, but not all the way like we were going to cascade it down. Okay, I'm going to go in with each of my colors, and I'm just creating a short tail. Come on. Make a loop, pinch it together, and cut. Short tail, loop, long tail. And lastly, our pink. Okay. Now let's find a twist tie up here that we can tie this into. Get nice and tight in there. Okay, now I'm going to take and fix my tails. So I want our short tails to be up towards the top. So I'm just going to work with these and maneuver them up that way. And then we'll have our longer ones coming down. So let me go ahead and dovetail these. let's do the top. So I'm going to take our top tails and have them come up and dovetail these as well. We'll make these a little bit shorter so they're not, since they're sticking up at the top, we don't want them like out there in its own little planet. All right, so now we got our little half bow, we have our big bow, we have it coming down the sides a little bit. Now let's add some tails. So I'm going to take a little bit of this Farrisilk, the black and the white check down at the bottom, sort of in the center. This will give it a little bit of length to our wreath, having that hang down just a little bit. And let's pair it with this blue-green. Okay. Perfect. Now let's do the same thing up at the top. So I'm going to flip this around. And see, we added our little tails there. We're going to do the same thing up here at the top. I'm going to add, again, I'm not measuring. I just kind of put it in, see the length that I want it, and cut. If you wanted to measure, I'd go probably anywhere between 12 and 14 inches. Okay, now we're going to get some of the blue-green again, just like we did on the bottom. Twist that up in there and cut. Perfect. So now we have top. We have a little extra tail there too. Okay, now let's get the sides. Let's hit the sides. I want to do, let's see, I think I have just a little bit. Yeah, let's hit the sides with this black and white as well. So I'm just kind of going sort of in the middle, the bottom sort of this sign. And I'm just going to just use the black and white. We'll go in between with our orange and our pink. So I'm just going to add a strip of this black and white on the side. Let me show you. So we just added a strip of that on the side over there. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Find a tie up in here. Perfect. And cut. Let's see how much. Oh, you guys, we're going to have to use, I have this little strip. We're going to have to find a spot for it before we're done. Can't let that go to waste. Such nice Farrisilk ribbon. You guys have never worked with Farrisilk ribbon or D. Stevens or some of the designer ribbon. Oh, so nice. Nice and thick, and it holds its shape really well. It is more expensive. It makes your designs more expensive, but man, it looks so good. Okay, so now we have another one on that side over there. Now, in between, we added tails at the bottom. We had this little black strip right here. In between this section, like right in here, let's add a pop of our orange and our pink. So just pinching it. Find a good tie. So we'll add some of our orange and our pink. And I call it orange. It's almost like a coral. But it goes really well with the pumpkin because the pumpkin's not a bright orange. Okay, let me fix this tail. Got a little crooked. There we go. Just dovetailing the ends. Okay, so we have in between, we went and added our pink and our orange. I'm going to do the same thing up here in between the top and this one. We're going to add our pink and orange again. Right, give it some dovetails. Now when I cut these tails, I'm giving them a little bit of length, but I don't want them sticking way out in left field, so they're kind of just beyond the mesh. And when I hang it up, if I see that there's some that will still look too long, I can just trim them. You can always trim, you can't add back length. So, okay, so we added another one right up in here where it's going to keep going around. So now on this side, in between this one and this one, we're going to do the same thing. So you're going to have the orange and the pink twice on each side. So I'm going to add this one in here. Find a twist tie that I can tie these in. There we go. And if you can't find a twist tie, this one's easy because we left a lot of ties exposed. But sometimes we cover it up so much it's hard to find those twist ties. So just use a pipe cleaner, create your own little tie, and then wrap it around that metal frame. Wrap it around a pick stem. Whatever you can find, you can just use it and wrap it. Okay, so we've got that one. Now let's do our last one. So you can see we've got right here. Now let's do our last one between this piece and the bow. So right up on this side. Look, we have just enough of the orange. Perfect. So let me find a tie right up in here. Okay, and get a strip of the pink. Okay. Oh, I'm so glad we had just enough of that orange. So again, these are partial rolls. We're not using a whole roll of ribbon in any color. They're just partial rolls. All right, so now we have all of our tails all the way around. So now we can start stuffing with some sprays and adding our finishing touches. I do have this little piece. We need to find a spot for this. I don't know. Might add it up under this bow and give it like another little tail. let's do that. So I'm just taking the end of it, twisting it up under pine ties, and I'll show you in just a second, dovetailing it. I'm going to add a little bit of glue since I just kind of tied that one end in there. There we go. So I just added that little piece down here, kind of gave us another little strip of black and white. All right, so sprays. What we have to work with, let me get rid of this out of my way. We have these fun little mint green blue pick bushes. I got these at home probably several months ago, so it might have been part of their spring collection. I'm not sure, but if you've got any type of spray that's this color, or if you don't have this color that's pink, or the orange, just as long as it's not like a bright orange. So remember, we went more with the pastel colors, then that would definitely work. So, and I'll put the SKU in the description so you guys can see if they still have them. So we've got these, those are super fun. I'm going to cut these down, the stems down, because I don't need them that long. So let's get all this ready. We also have these fun little picks that match our pumpkin, so we're going to use those too. But let's get these ones done first. And then I think that's probably it. I did have some eyeball sprays because we have a little eyeball on the top of our ice cream. Thought about adding them, but I don't know. I think it's just so cute without the eyeballs that I might leave them off. These little sprays were $5.99, so we're going to use 3 of them. You want to keep the cost down, because the more you add, the more expensive this wreath is going to get. And if you're trying to sell them, not all the, you know, it depends on what your customer base is. A lot of my customers do buy the more expensive wreaths, so I can put all 3 in and usually sell it. But if that's not your target customer, then you can definitely scale back and maybe just use like 2 of them. So we're going to get 9 pieces. I'm going to leave this one a little bit longer just because I want to see if we come out of this bow. Down at the bottom, I want it a little bit longer. So I'm going to find some of these pine ties in here. Let me cut it down just a little bit. It doesn't quite need to be that long. And I'm going to wrap these little ties around this, and then we'll add some glue. Let me add some glue in there. Oh, the glue stick. So we added this one right here at the bottom. I left it a little bit longer just because we want to give it a little bit of length. Now, just going to go around the outside, keeping in mind we have 9 pieces, so let me just kind of get my placement on where I want my 9 before we start gluing. Make sure that I space it out good. No, there it is. One piece that I think I want to do, because we've kind of got this little hole, so I kind of want to stick it, I think, right in there behind that pumpkin. Perfect. Okay, so let's start gluing these in. So I did the bottom one already. So this one, I'm going to find some of these little pine ties, twist it around, add some glue. You can just put glue on it from your glue pot and stick it in there, but since we have these little pine ties, it just kind of helps hold it in, gives it something else to attach to. So I'm just twisting that pine tie around there and pushing that in and adding some of the glue. Perfect. Okay. Let me hit this one here in the center. Twist that. Push it down like I want it. Add some glue. Perfect. Okay. Find a tie. Twist it around. And add our glue. Perfect. We'll straighten up these tails and everything when I hang it up. Yeah, I can use that tie right there. Somehow I think I either skipped one or have an extra piece here, so we'll have to look and see. Okay. We have, let's see if I missed a piece in there. Maybe right here underneath the bow, right up at the top. And once I get that tied in there, I push it down in the wreath so it's nice and tucked in and it's not sticking, you know, way out there. So how cute, guys, look at that. That's what we have so far, and we still have to add these sprays. So you definitely could stop here. Again, that would keep it the cost down. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and add the picks that match our pumpkin. We do have some of these in the shop. Or at the time of this video, we had some in the shop. They've been selling, so. Okay. They're super fun, super cute. So I'm gonna cut these down. You can see that we can cut right here. So we'll have one pick with 2 and one pick with 3. This gives us 2 picks out of this one bushel. Let's start with 3 of them. And if we need more, then I brought more we can add. Okay. And I'm just separating it and creating 2 picks, one with 3 sprays and one with 2. let's start with 3, and then we can add more if we need to. Now I know I don't need my stem that long, so I'm going to cut this down a little bit. And I'm going to start up underneath this bow, sort of on top of the, or next to the little blue-green bushes we put in, sort of in between is where I'm going to stick these. In between I need this one a little bit shorter. Find me a tie. You can pull these, let me show you. You can pull these and stretch them however long you want them. So I'm just going to kind of play with those. Okay, so we did the one there. Let's go in between the blues again. This time I'm going to use the one with 2. So I'm going to go 3, 2, 3, 2. So this time we're going to use the one with 2. I'm going to put it in between . Add some glue. Perfect. Okay. Now again, we're going to go in between. Now I'm going to get the one with 3. I don't need the stem that long, so let me cut it down. This is very fun, whimsical design. I love doing whimsical. I like doing the more traditional ones too, but these are always fun. Okay. So again, I'm going in between. That was a 3 one, so we're going to use one with 2 pieces. I'll find my little ties in here. Tie it around my pick. And then add my glue. Perfect. Okay. Still going in between. So that was a 2. Let's use a 3. Cut this down. We are going to have to use another one to keep with our pattern. So let me tuck this in there. Tie this around. Okay. Now we'll use our 2. I'm going to go ahead and cut up another one. That one was 2, so we'll use the one with 3 in between this one. Okay, and this one, right up in here. All right, so we've gone all the way around in between those. Super cute. But we have this green one that we put here. So I want to add some sprays around this bow. So I'm going to go ahead and use this last one. So we're using 5 of these. Down just a little bit. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and cut this down. Okay, so let me see. Let me face it towards me just so I can see how I want this. I think I want it kind of laying on top of that. So I'm going to stick it up sort of underneath this pumpkin, and there's not a tie there, so I'm just going to douse it really good in my glue pot and just kind of use that pumpkin to attach it to. So I slid it right up underneath kind of the pumpkin. So we have that right up there behind the bow. Now I have this little 2-piece. I think I'm going to put it kind of right coming down from the bow. So I'm going to give this a little bend. We're going to tuck it sort of right in there, sort of like it's the little button of our bow. Okay, put some glue on it. We're going to tuck it right down in our bow. So there we go. So I think we are about done, guys. What do you think? Super cute. I'll hang this up, get some pictures. I always like to hang it up and just make sure I don't have any, fill it in with, you know, maybe another little piece of this or something, but I think it looks pretty good. I don't think we need to add anything else to it. So hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about these pink, the non-traditional Halloween colors. Do you like them or do you like the more traditional? I'm torn. I like them both. So let me know in the comments. Bye, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time.